Ta-da-da. Hey, hello everyone. Storm Sondors here. Big day today. I am been looking forward to this day for past 3 years, perhaps a little longer. As you guys know, we started in 2005 with an e-bike, which still is a conversation piece, not only in US but around the world. We revolutionized the e-bike world by bringing an interesting piece of technology direct to consumer, which was never done prior. And that pretty much changed everything we're seeing, what's going on in the e-bike world out there today. And I am quite proud of that accomplishment. But what you will see today probably blows all that previous stuff away. So we're going to be unveiling 3 new elite class models today, Rockstar, LX, and Cruiser. I'll get some help in the presentation down the road as well to answer all your questions and any other questions you might have. A couple things I want to say before we get into bikes. I want to thank everybody who helped to develop these 3 new products for us, and especially our German team of engineers and designers who really stepped up and challenged me personally on every level imaginable, because working with Germans is an interesting thing. They know what they're doing, and that's a little bit different than what we're used to deal with. So I want to thank him very much, and also thank everybody who was involved on our frame development, our team here in California and around US, who worked long nights to get here where we are today. Also would like to mention that these 3 models, which you will see, they are in a league of its own. So there's, again, we're setting a standard, and that standard is going to be, everyone's going to have to catch up to that standard as they see what's about to be unleashed. So without further ado, here is the Rockstar. And wow, I can't swear on camera, so I always have to remember that, because that's definitely something I would like to do right now. But let's not do that, and let's just focus on what we're seeing here. Am I in a way, by the way? It's like, can you guys see, where do I stand? Hold here, maybe?
Yeah.
So before I go on, I would like to introduce Matt Irish. Matt is our product director, so he's going to walk over the bike and share more specifics about it.
Some details?
Yeah, I do want to mention a couple things which most of you already know, that I do have a tendency to change things and change things because I can do that, right? So having a privilege to design products and to see them come to fruition and be commercially successful is a privilege. It's like nothing else, because I can be building stuff in my garage all day long, but if there's no audience, it's all just a meaningless, entertainment, right? Sure. So, I mean, it's not meaningless; it's still exciting, but it's a completely different scale when you can change an industry, like what we did with electric bikes. So, and Matt is going to mention a couple things where I decided to upgrade for the current people who bought these 3 models from a rendering.
Right.
And I intentionally asked our marketing team this time around to go through with renderings and do not reveal the bikes, as what we're doing these days is becoming so much more exciting and so much easier to copy before we even finish our development, that moving forward we're going to be doing mostly rendering. So anyone who thinks they're going to get to see a real bike, real Sondors before new launches,
before the reveal,
is dreaming. So, but I would like to thank every one of those people who did buy this bike, and it's, by the way, it's sold out for 2020, and I think the next ship dates are in 2021. I would like to emphasize, and before Matt starts his presentation, is that I requested that we upgrade the derailleur.
Right. Yep.
So we're going to do the 11-speed.
11-speed SRAM NX. We listened to the feedback from the early purchasers, and we responded, and yeah, we're going to do 11-speed on the Rockstar.
So here, you guys here still see the 7-speed, but you will get 11-speed. Right. So that is a super cool feature. So a couple other minor things, and couple major upgrades as well, like the derailleur, which required to change the frame slightly to accommodate that, but no big deal. Again, all Sondors bikes are designed from scratch, right? From a concept to a final product. So privilege what we have here is that we can constantly improve. Constantly improve.
Work quickly.
Exactly. And that's what makes this, really exciting, because we're not doing what, your usual suspects are, white labeling somebody else's bikes. We get to design them. We get to create them. We get to ride them. We get to test them. We get to
decide what we like and don't.
Exactly.
Make the changes we need to.
So, Matt, take it from here. So
sure.
I can shut up for a minute.
No worries.
Where do I hold it?
Just seat's fine right there. So guys, this is the Rockstar that you've all been waiting for. Just maybe to start with the basics of things that are similar through the whole range of the Elite class. All of the bikes feature the same mid-drive 750 watt motor. They all have the same 21 amp hour 48 volt battery. That's just about 1 kilowatt of battery. It's the largest battery we've ever offered at Sondors. It's one of the larger batteries in the e-bike industry. We're conservatively rating these bikes at 40 to 60 miles of range. Realistically, you'll probably get more than that unless you're just hammered on the throttle the whole time. The Rockstar itself is an exciting product for us. This is the first full suspension bike we've ever done from Sondors, and also is the first Sondors in our line of bikes where we're building our batteries directly into the frame itself. Much cleaner look. All of the Elite Drive bikes, by the way, do share the same battery. I know we've gotten that question a lot. So if you had, the Cruiser or one of the other bikes, that battery works with this one as well. Slick features that Storm already mentioned on this bike. We are going to SRAM 11-speed. In our initial testing, we discovered that, it's a burly bike and it's great for downhill. So we did go ahead and go to a 203 millimeter rotor up front as well to give you the stopping and the confidence that you need. Other than that, changes relative to the rest of the line. The Rockstar does have a special small mountain bike style display instead of our larger color display. It gives you just the information that you need when you're out on the trail, so you don't have so much to pay attention to. Does still have the super slick little USB port in the side, so if you want to plug in a device or charge while you're out riding, you can do that.
I also want to add that I think the biggest thing on this, what we really got right, besides all the details, is the full. It looks insane, but it also the full suspension aspect on the frame, because once you get on it, regardless the size, and by the way, it's fully adjustable, right? So again, it's like having that riding kind of on a cloud experience is what we were shooting for, and we definitely accomplished it. So. And also, just a reminder as well that I don't know many 750 mountain bikes. Like I don't know.
No.
Again,
the power is huge. 750 watt nominal, right? Peak power is quite a bit higher than that. We did have these.
What is the peak?
I believe it's about 1,200 watts on our unit.
Yeah.
The system was designed for us by the manufacturer and tuned for this bike. So it's not an off-the-shelf mid-drive. It is a Sondors specific tuning on the
Did we
mid-drive
talk about
unit.
gear sensor?
We didn't talk about the gear sensor,
Yeah, okay.
so that's another
Yeah.
one. So that's again across the Elite line.
Yeah, and the only thing why I'm bringing up gear sensor because it was a hell
To get the right one.
to get the motor and the gear sensor to talk to each other.
Yeah, so that's an important thing. Storm's talking about a gear sensor, and for those of you that don't know, or for you new to this e-bike stuff, when you go to a mid-drive e-bike like this one, now you're driving the power of the e-bike through the chain. You're pedaling, the power is the same as you. When you go to shift the bike and shift gears, unlike in a hub drive bike where you can just shift and everything's turning on its own, with this bike there's a gear sensor, and the gear sensor momentarily interrupts the power as you shift so that you get that smooth continuous power and the motor doesn't yank on the chain when you're trying to shift. So it's pretty slick. Makes the whole system very integrated and easy to ride. It very much feels like pedaling an ordinary bike, which is kind of the magic of mid-drive anyway, is that the electric part sort of disappears and instead you're left with this very conventional, I guess is the word to use, riding experience, but it's really comfortable and invisible. And so it makes, if you've ridden a bike at all, you can get on a mid-drive e-bike and go ride around and everything pretty much feels the same.
I do like, sorry to interrupt
Please.
you, so I do like that the step over height is very reasonable. So I'm 5'8", I would guess. Steve, what's your height?
Yeah, I'm barely 5'7".
So, and it's really easy. I mean, I'm sure somebody 5'4", 5'5" could get.
You could get over it and you
yeah.
could pedal it around. It's definitely one of the cool features. Again, this is a dropper post. I guess a lot of people ask what a dropper post is. There's a little handy lever here on the thumb. And so while you're riding, you can adjust your saddle height. Very important if you're doing any kind of real mountain biking where the trail changes from climbing to descending and you would otherwise have to get off and change your seat. As a lifelong mountain biker, the first time you ride with a dropper post, it changes your ride forever and you can't ride a bike without one anymore. It drives you nuts. So that's a super cool feature, but also to your point, as for fitting lots of people, or let's say you buy one of these bikes and everyone in your family wants to go rock around on it, this, between the dropper post and the seat height adjustment, you've got a lot of range without having to change parts.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
And you actually brought up the experience aspect where I really, you know me, it's like, to me, it's like, okay, it's great to push the envelope and do what no one else is doing, you know, because everyone else is using, you know, a European mid-drive motors and, you know, they're much, they're okay, but I don't care about them. Many more limits, much more complicated. So we're always looking, especially Matt with a motor background. We always adjust our motors in a way where you're going to get an absolutely supreme experience.
Yep.
You know. So, and that takes a lot of work out of us. So, but besides that, the bikes, you know, there's kind of like the, you know, as you know, electric mountain biking is quite new.
Right.
So, and there are players out there, but what we really wanted to create again is the product which could be used by anyone. Right. You know, so regardless you're a mountain biker or you know, you just want to try to ride trails. Exactly. So, but one thing I would ask everyone who will use this and who has not maybe has much experience in e-biking in general, the bike is insanely powerful, right?
It is a beast.
It is a beast. So please do not think that this is your first electric bike.
That's fair.
So I mean, I know we made the price incredibly affordable for this introductory stage, and it's probably, you know, it's probably going to move. So a lot of people ask, how do you make this kind of bike for what, 2,500, 26? No. I want to be very clear that what people who pre-ordered them from renderings got a deal. They basically stole the bike, and you're welcome, by the way. So for everyone else, I mean, another probably couple weeks, and bike is going to go to its regular price, probably closer to 4,000 where it should be, 3,500, 3,700. But for early adopters, I mean, that's always the goal, right? I mean, you guys got to reap the benefit. You take the risk, you believe in us, exactly, and we're here for you. But going back to that, yes, this is a beast. It should not be taken lightly.
Right.
It should be feared. And it should be mastered.
Yeah,
so
that's a good way to put it.
Yeah. Like when you learn driving, you don't start with Ferrari. So this is definitely your Ferrari. So do not start with this. And if you do, then take it slow. Take your time.
I was going to say to what he's saying right now, as far as take it slow, take your time. If this is something, let's say you're a full suspension mountain biker and you want a full suspension trail bike, and it's your first e-bike. That's all right. It's not going to like jump out of the closet and kill you in your sleep, but there are things that you can do about that. There are 5 levels of power adjustability through the display for how much assist you have. I would certainly recommend, as you're getting to know the bike, especially if you're riding new trails, things like that, start in a low power setting. There's no reason to go out there with the thing maxed out. It is a 28 plus mile an hour e-bike. It does have a thumb throttle. You can ride without pedaling. That said, a bike that will go 30 miles an hour without you pedaling has a lot of power. And so you do need to be aware of that. Like he said, feared, respected, however you want to put it, but be aware that the bike does have significantly more power than a typical e-bike, if you want to put it that way. And so it does require a little bit of awareness.
Very cool.
Into it.
So here's a Rockstar. Wow. Can't swear. So I'm just going to leave it at that. And
a couple of just real quick feature comments before we move on, just for the folks that have asked. I know we got a lot of questions about suspension and stuff. They are Sondors air shocks, front and rear on the bikes. Full adjustability, rebound compression, and lockout up front. And you have rebound and lockout control on the rear shock as well. Good solid air suspension. You got 150, 147 and change travel in the rear, and 130 as it comes up front. So
very cool.
Just to kind of give that spiel.
All right, let's move to the next product.
All right. Let me grab you the Cruiser.
Yeah, I will make an introduction.
Cool.
So cool.
All right.
So we will.
It'll be back.
We'll be back. Matt will be back. So I'm going to move to the Cruiser, and this bike is very interesting. I'm very excited about this one, and again, I'll tell you why I'm excited about this one. People have been asking for a low step through mid-drive bike forever. So here it is, by the way. So yeah, I'm just like, every time I see it, I'm still speechless.
I love this bike.
Yeah, I love this bike too. I mean, this is like if you're ever gonna own one e-bike, this should be it.
If you need a bike for all of your, family grocery activities, your go to the beach, it's got style for days.
Yeah. But going back to the like my conversation piece, like again, like going back to our German partners who designed this bike for us. By the way, this bike was inspired by me driving down on PCH in Malibu and seeing a 911 Porsche, which was a very custom one, and I just sent an image of the Porsche, and I said, this is what I want the bike to look like, and they came back with a couple versions, and I picked this one. And reality is what makes this bike, it's absolutely bespoke made. Like this front fork is all custom built.
Built-in headlight.
With a built-in headlight. It has incredible lines. It has a really, oh, by the way, lights. I'm going to let you talk that through. So I think that my part in this is very much complete as far as like yes, but to design-wise, this bike is insane, and I'm even getting nervous when I like look at it. So Matt, take it from here. You can put it on a
it's on a side stand. So rear-mounted side stand. So guys, the Cruiser is exactly what it sounds like. It is a Cruiser, 27.5 by 3-inch tires, so kind of a mid-fat, big, comfortable ride. Very Cool cruiser-oriented features. Low step through, extremely low seat height. I mean, if you put the seat all the way down, I mean, you could ride this thing if you were 3 feet high, I think. Good easy reach to the handlebars as well, so that's kind of cool. Hydraulic disc brakes on all of the bikes in the Elite line. We're using the same hydraulic disc brakes. These are e-bike specific brakes that also trigger the motor interrupt when you hit the brakes. And on both the Cruiser and the LX that we'll show you in a minute, they have integrated built-in taillights. This is super cool. So the brake lights fully function with the brake levers. And additionally, I don't know if I can get it to turn on if I trick it into thinking it's nighttime. The headlight is actually automatic. So when it's dark outside, it's really cool. The
what? It actually senses?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Last night I was detailing the bikes for this thing, and I was trying to figure out how to get it to turn off.
I missed that feature.
Yeah, it turns itself on, and so
you just
there you go. So
yeah,
if you trick it and cover the dashboard and it thinks it's dark out, then you get your headlight. So that's super cool. Automated headlight in the daytime. You can turn it on manually through the display as well. Just really cool. I mean, that's the goal. Super simple. Same hugely powerful motor. So just kind of like we were saying with the Rockstar, this, I think, because of the form factor and how comfortable and low the seating is, this would make an ideal first e-bike. But if it's your first e-bike, you're going to want to come to the beautiful color display here and reduce the power down to one. So you have 9 power adjustment modes on the Cruiser and the LX. So we've given you a really finite control over that boost. So if you're pedaling along, it's really easy to find a comfortable cadence that you pedal and a match setting here so that you can cruise in comfort, which is the idea.
That's beautiful.
Not much else to this bike. I mean, the simplicity of it and the elegance of it is a big part of what makes it so special. It's just a very nice, very pretty bike with very few negatives.
Awesome. All right, let's go to the next one.
You got it.
So the next one is an exciting one because next one is LX, and that bike is kind of close to my heart because it's got the fat tires, and it's a mid-drive. So this is a first Sondors mid-drive fat tire bike, which we have never had before. So, and
yeah.
Whoa. Goodness gracious.
If you ever wanted a monster truck and a bicycle.
Yeah, if you ever wanted a Tonka truck in an electric bike version, here you have it. So this again, it definitely goes back to the aspect what I really like about beefier tires is what I always tell all our customers that what it really does, it gives you that SUV experience of riding, right? So, and if you live in a city or you live in a country and you have the gravel and you have different terrains you want to ride on, this is it, right? It absorbs the shock, you know what I mean? Once you ride in a pothole, you will never feel it once you go through it. So that's what makes these bikes really special, right? Where it's just like, it gives you that confidence. It also creates that presence on a road where cars need to pay attention to you, right?
Yeah,
so every other bike out there is dodging cars. This bike, cars better dodge.
Cars dodge
you. You know what I mean? So otherwise, it's not going to end well. Yeah, this one is a pure beauty, and it is the biggest thing. Is like we've never had in our lineup the mid-drive, the 750. The battery, again, the same insane battery, which on this bike, on a Cruiser, will definitely last past 60 miles if you guys ride, under normal circumstances. So I am, honestly, I tried to drain the batteries and try to do the mile test, and I just ran out of patience to do it because I was halfway there and it was not even, and I put a lot of miles on it. Again, it's an easy step through frame. It's got the beautiful fat tires with the cutout rims. It's got 9 speeds. Again, for those who are going to start.
9 adjustments of power.
Exactly.
On the yep.
So, and only thing I'm asking again, this bike is a beast as well. That take it slow. Be aware. And wear the helmets for God's sake. If I see people without helmets these days and age, that just drives me nuts. So please, Matt, take over if you anything else you want to point out on it.
Yeah, so just, I mean, the LX, to Storm's point here, you know, the fat tire bike, you know, there's a tendency, I think, of people to assume that fat bikes are winter bikes or they're snow bikes or they're whatever.
But let me stop you right there. I mean,
it is a great winter bike.
It is a great winter bike. And Matt, you raised a really good point. We have more and more people who are, you know, we used to be known as a California company.
Right.
Last month, New York took over California
in our
biggest sales. So again, this bike is for all of you guys who need 4-season bikes, for your snow, for your rain,
trails,
for your mud,
whatever.
for your trails. So again, so the goal at Sondors is that we minimize the seasonality aspect of e-biking, right? So, and we did this with our first generation bikes, and now we're doing with this generation where it's like, do not think that your biking is seasonal. You can put heaviest coat, heaviest boots, you know, like deck yourself. Like when I deck myself, if I ever end up in a cold weather where only my eyes are sticking out, right? and this bike will be your snowmobile.
Still go, yeah.
It's going to be your snowmobile.
And that's so that you know, the fat bike's not limited is the point, and it's more to Storm's point. It is the SUV. It is the comfort. It's kind of the confidence to know that, like you were saying, in the city. You know, I was in Manhattan for a while before I came back here, and I would have loved to have some fat tires because the roads look worse than most of the trails I ride. That's just the reality in some places. And so these bikes, really, it's just, if you just want to not have to worry about it and just mow over whatever's in your path, you know, this is a great place to start. The step through, again, gives us a seriously low seat height on this bike and great accessibility. People ask why would we do a step through instead of a conventional frame? And it's exactly to Storm's point. We want to make these bikes as usable for everyone as possible, that fit as many people as possible, keep it easy.
And also, when I was asked to do the step-through bikes originally, so I tested a bunch of step-through bikes, and one thing I found that the frame kept on wobbling, right? So like this thing kept on coming, and I was like, I just didn't like that feeling. So we had to come up with this crazy frame design,
box section, and
which make it like you don't even notice that it's a step-through bike.
Right.
You're thinking you're just on a most, you know, amazing, sturdiest
stiff
bike ever. So again, it's all in the frame, it's all in a design, and we couldn't be more proud of it. All right, let's see if there's any questions for us.
Anybody?
Thanks again for watching this, if anybody is. So, but I hope
yeah, you're going fine.
Yeah.
Let's trade because.
Hey, Jeannie.
We know
just come in. I know they can't hear you, but I'll.
Okay. So a lot of people are asking about racks and fenders for all three.
Yes.
Okay.
So.
And lights for all three.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that the two to LX and Cruiser both will have racks and fenders because they're necessary. And you're going to be able to put your Sondors bags, clip them in as well. So just like what we have currently available. So yeah, those sets will come available. Cruiser comes already with lights
integrated.
LX comes with a rear lights
tail lights integrated.
And the front lights, you can choose whatever you want. And as far as the fenders, mountain bikes traditionally do not have racks and fenders.
Right.
So there's a way to probably.
You know, there's some little fenders that you can attach aftermarket things.
We'll probably make something
some.
available where you can carry something, but it's not going to be a traditional, because you know you got a full suspension frame, you got.
It's difficult to put a rear rack on a full suspension frame and not get in the way of tires.
Exactly, but there's going to be a way to store items. So certainly. So what else?
Okay. They're asking, are any of these foldable?
No, these bikes are not. These are not foldable. So because they're mid drives, so it's not a good way to work with it. But we have foldable. We have a step, which you should certainly look at. It's Smart Step. And Fold
X and XS.
And XS are three bikes we have foldable.
Do all models have the dropper post?
No. So
Just
two
the
models
Rockstar.
have Two models have a suspension post, and dropper post is for
Rockstar.
Rockstar. Yeah.
Okay. Asking about the kickstands. So
Yeah, kickstands are right there.
Yeah, so both the Cruiser and the LX have our rear-mounted kickstand that you can see us using here in the live stream. There is no kickstand on the Rockstar because one typically does not have a kickstand on a trail bike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just don't want to take it on trails
It's
with
bouncing around, it gets in the way, it gets snagged on stuff,
Exactly.
etc.
all right. Can we buy a second battery?
You will be able
Yeah.
to eventually buy a second battery, so that's no problem. But oh God, try to run out of the first one before you buy
Empty
a
it,
second.
run out of range before you know. But yeah, they will
exactly.
eventually be available.
Exactly.
Obviously not right away. We've got production and everything else, but yeah.
Yeah.
I think
a
we
lot of them
answered.
are- yeah, a lot
Yeah,
of them are the same.
I think we answered a lot of questions in our presentation. So listen, we're going to wrap this up. Again, I hope you like what you saw, and let's just for those again. I just want to thank people who did buy these things on based on renderings, and you guys are certainly going to be super happy. It's definitely turned out beyond even my expectations. And those who didn't, you're just going to buy the regular price.
They'll still be available.
And still be available. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, team, for setting this up.
Great.
And let's do this again soon. It's fun.
Yeah, and we got more stuff
All
coming
right,
soon.
sounds good.
All right.
Thank you.